LA Galaxy officials today announced that they were seeking an expansion of their stadium, StubHub Center. While it is unknown as to whether the city of Carson will accept the expansion proposal, it is believed that the expansion is almost inevitable, with StubHub Center reaching full capacity on a regular basis. Should the plan go through, according to LA Galaxy manager Kurt Onalfo, StubHub Center's capacity will increase from 27,000 to 41,000. Under this expansion deal, the LA Galaxy would have the largest stadium in the MLS. Similar expansions are being planned for the Seattle Sounders and Colorado Rapids, which have seen increases similar to Los Angeles's. Moving on to other news, the city of Victorville is still recovering from an earthquake measuring 4.4 on the Richter scale more than 2 days ago. While only minor damage was reported in the Victorville earthquake, USGS officials, upon further examination of data from the earthquake itself, are concerned that another earthquake may soon follow, although it is difficult to determine when or if an earthquake will occur. In the meantime, civil authorities are asking that everyone follow their daily routines, but be prepared to act should an earthquake occur. Well, this is ironic.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
The following message has been transmitted at the request of the State of California and the United States Geological Survey. As of August 20th, 2020, more than 100 small earthquakes and 3 earthquakes over 4.0 on the Richter scale have been recorded in the Los Angeles area by the United States Geological Survey. While not immediately likely, these earthquake swarms may indicate that a large-scale, potentially destructive earthquake may be about to strike the Los Angeles area. However, should an earthquake occur, it will result in the total destruction of property close to the epicenter of the earthquake, and countless lives will be lost as a result. Due to the risk of a major earthquake, all residents from Los Angeles to San Diego are urged to take the following preparatory actions, and to pay heed to the following advice. Gather enough food and supplies to last for at least 3 days, and make sure you have a battery-powered radio, in addition to a first aid kit and a flashlight. Make sure to go over emergency procedures with your family in the event an earthquake does strike. If you have not already done so, take the following actions: bolt and brace water heaters and gas appliances to wall studs. Do not hang heavy items, such as pictures and mirrors, near beds, couches and anywhere people sleep or sit. Install strong latches or bolts on cabinets. Large or heavy items should be closest to the floor. Most importantly, learn how to shut off the gas valves in your home to prevent fires after an earthquake. Should an earthquake strike while you are indoors, remember to drop, cover, and hold on. Stay indoors until the earthquake stops. If you smell gas, immediately remove yourself from your current location, but make sure that there is no debris outside that may fall on top of you. If you are outside, find a clear spot and drop to the ground, and make sure there are no buildings, trees, or power lines nearby. If in a car, stop your car and wait until the shaking stops. If a power line falls onto your car, do not exit your vehicle. Instead, wait for assistance. If on a mountaintop, be aware of possible landslides that may result from the shaking. After the earthquake, stay away from your home or workplace until authorities have declared that it is safe to return. Check yourself and others for injuries and apply first aid if necessary. If you spot small fires, attempt to put them out immediately. Fires are the most common disaster following an earthquake. In addition to these preparatory actions, the state of California has announced that a voluntary evacuation is now in place for the cities of Los Angeles and San Diego, in addition to their respective metropolitan areas. If you wish to leave, you may do so now, particularly if you are in a building that was built without flexible concrete structures, or was built before modern building codes. However, keep in mind that the civil authorities have not yet set up evacuation shelters, and an earthquake may not occur. It is, however, still recommended that you get out of harm's way entirely. If you choose to stay, please follow the instructions previously listed. More information for preparing for this possible upcoming disaster can be found at www.redcross.org. This message will repeat in 30 minutes.
Screen at the ready.
Like preparing for the possibility of an earthquake. Earthquake insurance from the California Earthquake Authority.
The following message has been transmitted at the request of the City of Los Angeles, the United States Geological Survey, the State of California and the California National Guard. At 9:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the USGS detected an earthquake measuring 8.1 on the Richter scale, with an epicenter in the city of Palmdale, California. While the death toll is not yet known, massive fires have been reported by the Los Angeles Fire Department in the Mid-City and Mid-Wilshire neighborhoods, and massive damage has been reported throughout the Los Angeles Metropolitan Area. Further fires have also been reported in Whittier, Anaheim, and Victorville. Due to the risks facing Los Angeles area residents, all citizens listening to this broadcast should now take the following actions. First and most importantly, remain calm. Panic will make the situation worse. Shut off any gas valves to prevent further fires. If you spot a small fire, put it out immediately so it does not spread. If you smell gas, immediately remove yourself from the area. Stay away from damaged buildings, and, if there is a clear path to safety, leave your current location and go to an open space away from damaged buildings, and take what supplies you can with you. These buildings may be prone to collapsing if aftershocks occur. More importantly, prepare for additional aftershocks altogether. Check yourself and others for injuries and apply first aid if you can. Do not use the telephone. Telephone lines should only be used for emergency use. The earthquake may have damaged or destroyed phone lines, and those remaining may not be able to carry the influx of calls. While the California National Guard has been mobilized to create emergency shelters, it may be some time before these become operational, and until such time, all citizens of the Los Angeles Metropolitan Area are advised to remain calm, take care of themselves and others, and to be aware that martial law has been enacted in the Los Angeles Metropolitan Area. Looting and other crimes will not be tolerated. As soon as shelters become operational, these locations will be mentioned in a later broadcast. Until then, citizens are advised to pay heed to the previous advice mentioned. This message will repeat in 30 seconds. The following message has been transmitted at the request of the Whittier Police and Fire Departments, the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and the California National Guard. Several wildfires caused by the earthquake this morning are now out of control and are threatening the cities of Whittier and South Whittier. Due to the risk of the fires further expanding, an involuntary evacuation has been ordered for the cities of Whittier and South Whittier. If you choose to stay, you do so at your own risk. Residents that are evacuating are ordered to report to the following operational emergency shelters. If you live north of Whittier Boulevard, you are requested to report to one of the following locations: La Puente Park, La Puente High School, Puente Hills Mall, Hurley Elementary School, and Los Altos High School. If you live south of Whittier Boulevard, you are requested to report to one of the following locations: La Mirada Regional Park, Viola University, Neff Park, St. Paul of the Cross School, and the Brea Mall. Do not hesitate into moving to these shelters. If you, or someone you see needs assistance in reaching a shelter, help them if you can do so safely, or call 911. However, please note that the previous earthquake has damaged the 911 call system in the Los Angeles Metropolitan Area, and emergency services may not be able to reach those who need help. Repeating, massive wildfires caused by the earthquake this morning are now out of control and are threatening the cities of Whittier and South Whittier, and an involuntary evacuation order is now in effect. Citizens are reminded that martial law remains in effect throughout the Los Angeles Metropolitan Area, and looting and other crimes will not be tolerated. This message will repeat in 30 seconds.
We're now going to take you live to downtown Whittier, where our reporter on the scene, Marek Cortez, is stationed. Marek?
I'm live at the intersection of Whittier Boulevard and East Colina Road, where firefighters, with the help of the California National Guard, are making a last-ditch stand to hold back the flames that have decimated the town of Whittier. Practically every building in this city is on fire, and the message from firefighters here is clear. Should the flame jump the fire break created at Whittier Boulevard, there will be nothing to stop the fire that is being blown southwest by the wind to burn South Whittier and Los Nidos to the ground. Similar actions are being taken in Los Angeles, Anaheim, and Victorville, but from what I've heard, while the Victorville and Anaheim attempts were successful, the attempts to stop the fires in Los Angeles have failed. The Mid-City and Mid-Wilshire neighborhoods have been completely destroyed, and the Los Angeles Fire Department has regrouped at I-10.
What is the situation around you, Marek?
Lindsay, I'll just be honest here. It's chaotic. Between the aftershocks, the airdrops being made by helicopters here, the ruins of buildings being destroyed by the National Guard to create a fire break, and the fires that are a mere 50 feet in front of me, it's insane. It's almost as if I've entered a war zone.
Does it look like the firefighters are in any way making an impact on the fire?
I can't really tell, but the fire hasn't spread over here yet, so that's a good sign. What is really going to matter is the wind direction, though. If the wind were to suddenly reverse direction and start blowing from the south, the fire would be pushed back onto land that has already been burnt. If that doesn't happen, then the men and women here are in for a tough time, Lindsay. They're already having a tough time with broken water mains and damaged streets, so they'll probably take any help they can get. The area here has almost no water pressure, and the California National Guard has resorted to using fire retardant from airdrops. Everyone is just hoping and praying here, and given the situation, that's all anyone can.
Marek, we're going to have to cut away for a short moment, as we're receiving some information from our correspondents at the White House. Here at the White House is Nathan McBree. Nathan?
Lindsay, the president has just entered in a meeting with FEMA Director Brock Long over the issues facing the response to the Los Angeles earthquake. While the White House has not released an official statement as of yet, one can only imagine the absolute chaos occurring within the Situation Room. With an entire city on its knees, one wonders what the White House will be able to do in this situation. Back to you, Lindsay.
We're now going back to Marek Cortez, who has some new developments regarding the fires in Los Angeles. Marek?
Lindsay, the wind has switched, the wind has switched. For all the desperation that has been caused, I can proudly say that the fire break has worked. The fire is now being shifted back into the land where it came from, and the fire is dying. While parts of the fire did jump the fire break at certain places, fire retardant drops, and what little water pressure left for the fire crews here was enough to start putting the fire out. One can only hope that the firefighters on I-10 have the same success, but for now, the fire break here in Whittier at least has succeeded.
I suppose that's a good sign. Keep in touch, Marek.
I will, Lindsay.
Okay, we're now going to step away from our live broadcasts of the Los Angeles fires for a brief station identification, but don't turn the channel because we will be right back shortly.
This is an administrative message from the state of California to residents of the Los Angeles Metropolitan Area. Due to the damage caused by the fire and the earthquake, all Los Angeles area residents are ordered to remain at their shelters until notified by the civil authorities that they can return home. If you lived in the Mid-City or Mid-Wilshire neighborhoods, or you lived in the city of Whittier, buses will be transferring you to areas outside of the city for relocation purposes. These areas have been completely destroyed, and it may be weeks before you may be allowed to re-enter these areas. Repeating, if you lived in the Mid-City or Mid-Wilshire neighborhoods, or you lived in the city of Whittier, you will be relocated to areas outside of the metropolitan area. Civil authorities will not be returning you to your former dwellings.
Please stand by for a message from a representative of the President.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am here today to address the American public on the status of the recovery efforts occurring within the city and metropolitan area of Los Angeles. As a reminder to people who may not be fully aware, on August 22, 2020, at 9:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, an earthquake measured at 8.1 on the Richter scale hit the city of Los Angeles, with an epicenter in the city of Palmdale, California. From what we understand so far, while some areas of the city escaped relatively intact, some areas of the metropolitan area received almost apocalyptic damage, with basic services almost completely destroyed throughout the area. While some Los Angeles area residents did evacuate from the area prior to the earthquake, most of the area residents are still trapped within the city and require immediate aid. Now, more than ever, the federal government is requesting that people pray for the citizens lost in this tragedy, and for all citizens to send as much aid as they are able, particularly for residents of Whittier and Mid-Wilshire or Mid-City neighborhoods. These people are likely not going to be able to return home for many weeks or months, and these people are going to need as much help as we can give them. Due to this tragedy, and as a sign of respect for the victims of this tragedy, all 2020 presidential campaigns will be suspended for 3 days as of this announcement. To the people of Los Angeles, the federal government brings you this message. You are not alone. For every tragedy that you suffer, we suffer along with you. For every amount of pain you suffer, we feel the same pains, and maybe more. So note that with our help, you will get through this horrifying act of nature. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
That was a message from a representative of the President. We will now return to the emergency alert system.
This concludes operations of the emergency alert system. Normal programming will now resume.